All right, guys, welcome to the Ink Bully Talk Show again. Today we got a great guest, one of a good friend of mine, Dialect. Want to say what's up?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
It's funny. Some people, I have different people that come on the show, and I tell them like, "Hey, say what's up," and then they'll be like, the most awkward is like, "What's
Now you
up?"
just gotta get in there like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" You just
Yeah,
gotta get in there.
yeah, like a cipher, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you're fucking like this is the first take and the only take,
Yeah. You
right?
ain't gotta say much. Just get in there.
Exactly. Well, let people know who you are, man. Let people know what you do. Let people know kind of what you're mostly known for, right?
Yeah, so I'm Dialect. I'm from Stockton. I make rap music. That's what I'm known for. Shows, albums, weeklies, live videos, live raps in my studio.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And how long you been doing it for, bro?
Probably I've been making music for like 10 years.
For 10 years?
Probably over that now.
Damn, that's a long time.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Damn, that's a commitment right there, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I put
that's
out my first album 5 years ago, so that's probably when I started taking it a little more seriously,
Got
putting
you,
myself out there.
got you, man. So what kind of got you into it?
Um, I don't know. I When I was young, I always wanted to make music. Like there was just something inside of me. I just didn't really know how. I was kind of into like alternative music, or I'd see like my brother on stage, and like, man, I want to be on stage. Like I want to learn how to do that. And I mean, I played guitar, and I never really could sing that good until recently. I've been exploring it more, but I got into hip hop probably when I was like 16, and by the time I was 18, I started recording my own songs.
Okay,
I liked writing poems when I was younger,
okay,
and so I kind of think that through hip hop and writing, I found my outlet into music, and that's where I was able to fucking let my soul speak
okay.
through that
What
form.
were your what were your inspirations like as you were like growing up and people that you looked up to that you were kind of like thinking like I kind of want to be like them or I want to be at their level, their statue.
I remember getting into underground hip hop a lot, stuff that was less popular. And Atmosphere was like a huge one. When I
Okay.
heard his music, I was like, "Oh, you can make music like that. It doesn't have to be like the traditional radio music you would hear." Once I heard him, I was like, "Oh, I think I could kind of make music like that." And then him and all his peers, like where they would make hella music all the time and tour consistently, that inspired me.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Cool, man. So, what do I got here for you? We kind of answered the first pretty much question. Second question too. Um, so how many albums you got now?
Think I have 5 full projects out now. First one was the EP, 3 full albums. I have one with Harmon that is, I mean, like half of that's mine. I'm like features on half of it. So like yeah, like 5 projects now.
Okay.
Working on my sixth.
And for the people that don't know, bro, like how hard is it just to even make one album? Because the thing is, you can make one song, and is that fairly easy, or is that also a
It
process
can be honestly. I can make a song in fucking 2 hours,
in
like
two
front to
hours?
back, write it at least.
And then you also like mix it and produce it.
Yeah.
Do you make your own beats, or you like how does that go?
I mean, usually I'll grab a beat, I'll buy a beat or get a beat, give it to me, and start from there. Then I'll just do the writing, and then I'll record it myself, and then I engineer it, and then I mix it.
Okay,
So yeah,
damn, that's a lot of work, bro.
I know that's why I kind of bypass and don't really make beats, cause it's like I'm already starting with like fucking the outlines of a picture. You
Yeah,
know.
cause so like generally when I listen to a music, to a song or whatever the case is, you see on the album cover how many people it actually took to actually make that album,
Mhm.
and you would think it'll just be you and your producer, right? But
Yeah.
and then depending if you have a ghostwriter too, right?
Yeah. I got a
Um,
ghostwriter.
you could be a ghostwriter.
No, I said I got one.
Oh, you got a ghostwriter? Who's it? Is it Harmon?
Nah, I think I'm his ghostwriter.
Damn, diss.
Yeah.
You guys should do some YouTube disses. You know what I mean, towards each other.
Now I will say it.
But so yes, we have so many people that involved in the whole involvement of an album, right? Like, what are the different parts? Like, you got the person that makes the beats, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a separate within its own, right?
Producer.
Producer, and then you have the person that writes it, and then you have the person that raps it, and then you have the person that mixes and produces it,
Yeah, the engineer too.
the
The one that
engineer.
just handles recordings basically.
So you do everything, but just not the beat part, right?
Yeah, so I do the writing, the engineering, so the recording of it, getting all those layers in there, making sure everything's healthy on there, and then after that, I do the mixing too.
That makes
So
sense too.
yeah,
Dude, that's crazy.
I know.
I know. I want to like one of these days. I want to like sit down with you and I want to like go through the process of like how you do everything.
Yeah,
Cause it's you're making it sound easy. Like you're making it sound like damn, bro, I could do it.
it's not
But
though.
I know it's not. Yeah.
I have good days where like
Okay.
I could write something just boom, 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 and then get straight to the mic. And then I have other times where I'm like, bro, I've been sitting on this fucking idea for a week and
Okay.
trying different things. Um, but the more you do it, the more you just let it flow. I hate when it's less natural, but sometimes you have to go past those points to get it, to have those days where you just sit down and boom, and you like it. My favorite stuff comes to me more naturally, but not everything does, you know.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, kind of like me, right? Like different medium, but I think I got days where like I don't really feel like drawing anything
Indian tripping.
and
Yeah.
just don't really care off on anything, and I can't force myself to draw. Like I could draw something, but it's not gonna be like it's meh, meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I know that feeling.
it's all right. And
Yeah.
then I think there'll be days where like say I'm in the fucking shitter, bro. And I don't know why. I'm just like scrolling through Instagram or thinking about something, and then an idea comes to me,
Mhm.
and it's such a unique idea that I have to like stop what I'm doing, and I have to write it down, and I have to go back to it. Either I could take care of it right there and then, or I could go back to it and then draw it and try to get some more inspiration. Because if it's a really good idea, just the thought of you thinking about it, you're gonna get some inspiration off of it too, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of all the same thing, kind
Very
of in the
similar.
same way. Like yeah,
It's like being present and not being there at the same time too through that creative process.
yeah,
You just kind of you are doing something, but you kind of let your mind go, like when you're taking a shit,
yeah.
and then it kind of comes to you. Like for me, if I'm doing a writing session, I kind of get stuck on some bars. I might get up. My studio's a little far from my house, so I
Okay,
do a little walk, and then it comes to me. I'm
okay.
like, snap back into it. So
That makes sense. That makes sense. You know what sucks for me too is when I get like an idea. Sometimes I get it at the wrong time, bro. Like I could be having like a disagreement with somebody. And have you ever seen the movie Walk Hard?
old movie, right?
So the remake with the guy from Step Brothers.
The other guy, not the Will
So
Ferrell.
yeah, so not Will Ferrell, but the other guy.
Uh huh.
Have you seen that
I
movie
don't
or
think I
no?
have.
Okay, so they're basically making like fun of what's his name? Johnny Cash, right?
Uh huh.
They're making fun of that movie that came out in his life, and he's having an argument with his wife. And as he's having an argument with his wife, I think it's about like the kids, like who's gonna keep the kids, like something about cheating on me and stuff like that. And then he says like walk hard. So when he says walk hard, he's getting an idea for a song.
Oh, okay.
And then the girl's like, Dewey, don't you fucking think about a song right now while we're talking about the kids. And then later on, he writes a song. But it's like, I feel like I'm like that where like I'm having a discussion with somebody or something serious is going on. And in the middle of that, someone says something and I'm like, oh, that'll be a dope tattoo.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a super, it's a setting that does not
And
require,
then your mind shifts over to that for
yeah.
the fucking time period.
And it's the worst, right? Because you're like, I don't want to lose it. So like
Yeah.
that's why I write it down. So I'll write it down and I'll make sure I get to it later on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm sure those are those ideas where it's like it's hard because you want to tackle it head on and you want to just stop whatever you're doing at that moment and just kind of again take care of it. You know what I mean?
That shit definitely happens to me too. Like I might be at work in the middle of something and something will hit me and I'm like, fuck. Like I gotta be doing other things.
Yeah.
So I'll just write some notes too, or middle of the night too, and I'm like, bro, I gotta work in 6 hours. I gotta be up early, and some idea will hit me, and I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to lose it, so I might write something down and come back to it later, you know.
So let me ask you this: what is the most creative part or time of the day that you feel you're like working hard? You got like all this energy to just like put your full time into this project.
I'd say morning when I wake up
Morning.
would be best, but I wake up early and work early.
Okay.
So another one would be early evening too to get started on it. Because if I come at it too late, usually I'm fucking exhausted. I have
Okay.
plans the next day.
So you're a morning person.
Morning is great. Like waking up fresh to something, waking up fresh to like just to write to a beat is probably my favorite. Or like early evening, like to
Yeah.
where if I do start something and get into it, I still have hours
Yeah.
to go.
Man, I'm
So.
super jealous of you, bro. Because I'm not a morning person at all. Like
Yeah.
you can't like I did this podcast with my boy John back in the day, and I don't know. I think this was before we knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
I had just like stopped doing the podcast, and he's a morning guy, bro. He likes to do podcasts in the morning, fucking 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, right? And we'll go and we'll set up and we'll have whoever the fuck's on, right? Bro, the Brian in the morning is not the same Brian at night. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
not gonna get the same results from me. Like I'm not gonna be very talkative. I'm gonna be very man. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just not. You're not gonna reciprocate. You're not gonna get the best me, the
Yeah.
best podcast from me. Same thing with working, right? I do everything at night.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I edited a video up until 5 o'clock in the morning. So and that's me starting at 1. So that's what I mean. Like I think everybody has different times of days where they get shit done. You're a morning person, which I envy because I hear how much of a positive thing it is for you to do things in the morning. Things
Yeah.
things open up in the morning early. Nothing is fucking open late. You know what I mean? If you want to work out, working out in the morning is great,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Working out in the morning's better. I'm not naturally a morning person though. I just am because of my job. I wake up
Okay.
at 4 for work,
Okay.
clock in by 5. So my schedule is just on that shit. So by the weekend comes around, like like sleeping in would be 7 or 8 in the morning.
So you got a routine
If
basically.
I'm off work for a long time, I start staying up later, sleep in,
Oh,
boom,
okay.
boom. So I go back to like naturally before I was always like a night person. So but now I've switched over because that's my routine. So that's how my little internal clock is running. So I guess I am a morning person now,
Yeah.
like undeniably. But if I didn't have that set work schedule, I'd probably just drift back into
They say if you
eating
have kids,
shit.
you automatically become a morning person too.
Yeah, you have
Like,
to, huh?
and yeah, that's like my thing. It's like, if I have a kid, like I would love to have a kid.
Yeah.
But I know that the day that I have a kid, that morning routine, I might as well just say goodbye to
Oh,
it.
for sure.
Yeah, like I might as well just say like, I can't sleep in. Like, I gotta get up, take care of the kids. You know, take care of daddy duties basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one
There's
of
no
those
way around it.
one of those things I'm kind of dreading. I hope they have insomnia like me, but
Yeah.
even that's bad because they got to go to school and everything.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of shit, man.
Mhm.
So, let me ask you this, bro. So, what do you think is the best way to promote yourself? Because you're an artist, so the end goal is for you to get recognized. The end goal is for you to have your own platform. You to sell as many records as you can to as many people as you could, right? You
Mhm.
want to spread your creativity with the world. In order to do that, unfortunately, we need platforms because we can't really make money on word of mouth anymore. Like it's very hard to do. What do you think the best platform for that is, as far as social media goes?
I mean, it's between like Instagram and TikTok right now, but I think artists are having a little bit of trouble with it. The way the algorithms are running, they want you to pay for exposure, and if you promote your shit to be like, oh, check my shit out on Spotify or YouTube, they're putting your shit straight down.
Hmm.
So it makes it a little harder. They want you to play ball with them as far as the real format, and
Yeah, there's definitely words that automatically trigger a downshift in your views.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like you said, if for some reason you mention Spotify whatsoever, Instagram or Facebook or whoever would realize that you said that and they'll shift it down,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll target the audience away from even looking at your
Or
content.
your merch shop or anything that fucking takes the user off the platform.
Yeah, and
They're fucking ducking your shit.
that's what makes it very hard for us to even get exposure, for whatever we're doing, right? Our
Mm-hmm.
content. So I think that's like the one of the worst things. Like for me personally, like I just wish that we were back at a time where we didn't have that algorithm, that we were just able to post it, and if it catches fire, it catches fire. If it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. Now they have this new thing, which is I think I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know how I feel about it, but they have the blue check mark, right? So or the verification blue check mark,
Yeah.
and you're paying 14.99 for it, right? And from my understanding, every time something comes out new on any social media, it's best for you to hop on it because that's the best way for you to get
Yeah.
exposure, right? That's how the algorithm, you don't even have to know the algorithm. That's just how it works. Something new gets introduced, hop on it, be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that? About us paying for blue check marks, as opposed to if you were verified or not back then?
I think it's some bullshit. I hate that shit. I hate following the trend. I hate following you have to have the video in this format, this reel. You have to put this background music on your shit. I hate all that trendy shit. And
Yeah.
it's been harder for me because the more it goes into that direction, the more I'm like, fuck this.
Mhm.
I'd rather just make it how I want to make it and put my,
Yeah.
music or whatever art out into the world. But you have to play ball because you're on those platforms, so they get to make the rules or whatever. And maybe you have to pay that $15. I don't know what the fuck it's gonna do, but you have to do it. I mean, even to get exposure as an artist, you need to run ad campaigns for Spotify, all that shit.
I've always hated the ad campaigns.
Yeah,
Always hated the ad
it
campaigns.
sucks because it's like it makes it feel more generic and it pours salt on your art. I feel like, but those are the platforms to get unless you want to go out in the street and fucking I don't know how people used to do it back in the day. Word of mouth probably went further because
It,
people
it,
were less entertained. But
it used to be if you were an artist, you would just sell CDs in the back of the trunk.
yeah,
You know, whether it was at a baseball game or whatever the case was, where there was a lot of people, a lot of traffic, right?
mm-hmm.
That's what it used to be, right? And then you should shit used to catch on, right? But now it's like I guess it's more convenient. But the thing is, the people that work hard, like the people that go out there and actually interact with people, the whole city is selling in the back of the car, you get what is called a face to face communication in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with whoever you're talking to. So it speaks it's more in depth, it's more personal, right? So when you see somebody and they're doing it, you're gonna have that impression of them, and that goes a long way. Now now it's convenient for everyone to put something online and just put shit out there, right? And put it in your face and pay the extra advertisement and it's okay, but it seems to get washed out with all the other bullshit going on, right?
It does.
Like I think me personally, bro, like if I had to put you on a spectrum of Stockton artists, I think you're up there, bro. Honestly. I
Thank
think
you.
I think lyrically you're good. I think you don't have to talk about street shit for your shit to sound good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you write your own music, and I feel like you don't have to do these gimmicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing about Instagram and platform that kind of annoys me because you're so good, and this platform, which is supposed to heighten you, is holding you back from your true potential, in my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you. First off, and I do agree with that too. And I hate looking at it like that because I feel like I make an excuse for it. I'm like, why the fuck, man? I should have more exposure. Like,
Hmm.
like even doing the weekly live raps where I did a new verse every week for a year. It didn't get me hella growth,
Hmm.
and you think it would,
Yeah.
but it got me like people that truly believed in me. Like it got me those super fans,
Hmm.
a certain amount of them. But you would think like doing that much would they would push your shit up a little
Yeah.
bit,
You would think so, right? But
Yeah.
and this is why I'm even doing the podcast, bro, because I just feel like what I'm doing at some point just doesn't work, right?
Mhm.
So I know me personally, like, I could create some dope content. Um Again, you could create some dope content, and I just feel like because we're not playing ball like you said,
Mhm.
we're falling behind. And the one thing that pisses me off too, man, is I see an artist, a tattoo artist. I see a tattoo artist, right, and he's just fucking ass, bro. Like he's not good. He really go up close to his stuff. All his shit is fucking grayscale. You know what I mean? If they're doing like realism and shit, and you like, how you could zoom in and kind of critique every line and every design.
Mhm.
Everything's just wobbly. Nothing's symmetrical. It just looks like shit, right? But you look at these guys' followers and they got like 10, 15K followers, right? And it's like it's a little frustrating, bro, because you know that they're the ones that paid for the Instagram ads, they're the ones that paid for the advertisement, and they're smart because they're getting business. So good for them, you know what I mean? But for us that really just focus more on the craft than more of the gimmicks,
Yeah.
that's where it's frustrating for people like us, you know?
Yeah. Very frustrating. And another thing too is like I don't mind throwing some money at some shit
Yeah.
to get exposure, but sometimes that exposure doesn't really do anything either
Yeah.
because it's not being sent to the right people.
Well, the thing about ads, and this is why I hate ads too, is you could pay for ads, and let's say you could spend 5 days for 30 days. So what is that? 180.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's 180. So you spend $180, and you will get the likes, you will get the comments, and you will get the follows, but you will not get engagement.
Mm.
You that engagement doesn't stay like that. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just can't buy people retention.
Yeah, yeah, because your views might go up or something like,
Yeah,
or your likes, like you said. But then, what about people booking with you?
yeah,
How is that computing? Or like, how much is my streams going up
exactly.
because of
And
that?
it's like you said, it doesn't go to the right people. So if I'm paying this much, I'm getting likes and follows from people in Massachusetts. I'm getting likes and people from New York.
Hmm.
I'm getting likes and people from Georgia, Atlanta. You know, nothing near here. Why the
Yeah,
fuck does it matter to me
yeah,
if those guys are following me?
exactly.
If it doesn't really, yeah, like I guess from a clout view, you would think I'm popping, but in all reality, it's like, no, man, none of those people are around here. You know,
Yeah.
like they're just free follows, free comments, free whatever the case, and there's no engagement. You know what I mean? You don't. It's like you said, super fans. You don't have any fans that really support you and really like see you all the way through, and that's the problem. You know what I mean with all these new like verification tools and all these new sort of implementations and I guess what are those called when they give you money incentives, all these new incentives to do this, right? Like it's not worth it sometimes, you know what
It's
I mean?
not.
It's just for looks
Yeah,
at the end of the day. It's just a crazy world that we live in, bro. Like
yeah.
so how do you so okay, so you said Instagram and TikTok was the one that will expose you the most, right?
YouTube's good too.
YouTube's
YouTube's
good
good
too.
too. Yeah.
You done a lot of YouTube before or no?
I just put the music videos up on YouTube, like full length ones.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is YouTube videos, music videos will always do good.
Yeah.
Will always do good. I don't know what it is, but that algorithm has never changed.
YouTube's pretty cool.
So what else have you done on YouTube? Have you done like vlogging and stuff or no?
No, I haven't. I've done probably a couple just live verses on YouTube and then just music video type stuff.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, I could do a little more on there. I usually just drop one like quarterly, like a music video.
we could. Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely could. Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do too, man. Is I'm trying to constantly put out YouTube videos, and I'm trying to keep myself in that loop of just like kind of being in your face, being in your face. But
That's what's important
but
too.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, bro. Like
Yeah.
I know it's like I'll do my 9 to 5, which is tattooing. I'll do my tattooings and I'll get through my appointments, and then when I get home, then I gotta work on videos. And I'm sure when you get home from your 9 to 5, you have to work on your raps and
Mhm.
your music and the next step, right, that you're going to do. So it's a lot of work, and it pays off in the long run, but then at the same time, it's a consistent every single day. There's that rubbing I was telling you about.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that one breaker rubbing. But it's a everyday thing, and at some point you get exhausted, bro. Like at some point, it's like when is enough enough?
That's what exactly what happened to me because there was a good year and a half run where I was like on very consistent with it with the weekly verses and I was working on an album in the background and still working the full time job and then I was building the studio and just devoting my time to it. But like I'm like, where's this fucking balance here?
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of withdrawn a little bit from the social media as much and more been like, let me just focus on my
Yeah, craft.
my craft in the
Mm-hmm.
studio and my work and my relationship and just kind of focus on that and so I haven't been posting as much as I probably should. But
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to wear all those hats. It's hard to write the fucking music, mix the music, master the music, get the cover art, promote the video. All those steps just to get that little. So it's you got to figure out like what's important to you, maybe be more strategic. I got to work my job. Like,
Yeah, I'm glad that I have a support system that understands what I'm doing, because that's also plays a big part to it, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
like not every girl's gonna be willing to be there for you
Fuck no.
during everything that you're trying to do. They're just
Mm-hmm.
not gonna understand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not all friends are gonna understand. Um, and you also have to work at a business or a job that's not gonna, when you go to work and you come home, you're so fucking tired that like I feel bad for people that work at constructions, because they'll do constru or even warehouses will do their 9 to 5. They'll come home. The last thing they want to do is work out. The last thing they want to do is do something extra, on top of whatever they already did.
Yeah.
And then let's just that's me assuming that they're working 8 hours. They could be working a lot more, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, it's like where do you find the time to sleep?
Hmm.
I'm fortunate that I could have like a flexibility of a schedule. I know you're kind of you have kind of a set schedule yourself, right?
Yeah.
But you work with your days off and you take advantage of that, right?
Mostly use the days off for creativity. Cause I mean, I wake up at 4. I'm in on on the clock by 5. I do a 10-hour day.
Yeah.
Want to hit the gym?
Damn, 10 hours. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
do a 10. Sometimes
Yeah.
over. Sometimes I get lucky and do a little less. But most of the time I'm working a full day
Yeah. But
like that. And then
but
by the time I get home, fucking cook, have a meal,
yeah, and then you
work
got
out.
meal
I'm
prep. Yeah.
15 hours into my day already,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll just have a little bit of time with my lady, and that's the day. And like, I track my shit. Like, bro, I sleep 5, 6 hours a night if I'm
Yeah.
lucky on a work
Well,
day.
to be honest with you, bro, I used to kind of think about that, right? And I used to think like, fuck, I should get more sleep, right? But then I look at some of the greats, and they don't. They're
Yeah.
we're in the same
Hmm.
category, bro. Like
Yeah.
we're doing basically what they're doing. So sometimes it makes me feel good because I just feel like, all right, well, it's just not just me. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna hear about no one like let's say Steve Jobs, or let's say
Yeah, they don't sleep good.
yeah, they don't sleep. They don't sleep,
They
bro.
don't
You know what I
fucking
mean?
sleep.
They're working all fucking day and
Yeah.
night. You know what I mean? Producers, that
Oh
make
yeah.
music too. Especially producers, because what are they producing? 5, 6, tracks a day.
Hmm.
It's every day. And like DJ Khaled, or nah, I'm not DJ Khaled. Let's say DJ Mustard, right? Because DJ Khaled, I feel like he works on his own time.
Yeah.
But DJ Mustard, I remember when he first started, bro, you heard him everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
where did you not hear him? He
Hmm.
was with LMA, he was with YG, he was with all these LA artists, and bro, like Quavo, Takeoff, you heard him everywhere, bro. So you're hearing all these music, and you're like, bro, this motherfucker does not have a break. 'Cause I hear
Yeah.
a new hit every single day.
Sometimes your work catches up to you too. So at the time when you're hustling
Hmm.
like that, you ain't getting the clout or the applause that you feel like you need. But eventually you're gonna be like, damn, this fool's beats are everywhere. You're just like,
Everywhere,
oh
yeah.
shit, like because his work caught up to him too.
Hmm.
All that shit was probably old as fuck. That's probably his hustle 2, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
No, that makes sense, man. Yeah, because I think some artists just wait to the right time to
yeah,
drop a music. And
you
so,
can't.
how do you feel about that? Like, when do you feel like it's the right time for you to drop your music? Because I'm sure there's like a schedule, right? Like, you just can't drop it whenever. You just can't drop it at 2 o'clock in the morning one day.
Yeah, I've tried different dates. For me though, a big thing is like I love doing a full project.
Hmm.
So sometimes I might hold off on an EP or a single drop, and maybe just have a couple singles a year, and then have that full album because I like to play through.
Okay.
So I like to drop towards the end of the year, between October and December. And then singles, if I'm dropping it daytime wise or a date, would be like a Tuesday or a Thursday. I've tried weekend ones. People are usually too busy. They don't fucking see it as quickly. So I'll try to do it like a weekday. I'll try first thing in the morning or in
Hmm.
the evening. So when people are like, at least local people are like, winding down for the day, they might be able to tap into some shit. Or first thing in the morning, like they're
Yeah.
off to work, they want to hear some good music. Boom, they have it.
I like to drop my stuff at 5 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm getting the early birds. I'm a type of person where I wake up and the first thing I do is I go on my phone and I
Hmm.
kind of scroll through my phone and see what's going on for the day. And a lot of the times, not really a lot of people are posting at that time. So whoever is posting, even though it's not that interesting, you're still gonna click on it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's something to look at that time. And I know a lot of people that if they're driving a long drive, they want something to entertain them,
For sure.
right? Um, what is it that I usually podcast is a big one. I think podcast when you drive, it's kind of soothing. I feel like music kind of gets a little bit like you might be over it sometimes. I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I want to be in that mood. But again, I'm not a morning person, bro. So if you put like a podcast on for me, then I feel like I could hear that and kind of feel like that drive is not so long.
Yeah, when I drive my truck at work, I don't fucking listen to music.
What-
And I make music and I love music. I
yeah.
listen to podcasts, bro.
Listen to podcast. What podcast do you listen to?
I listen to mostly Joe Rogan, or I like Lex Friedman too.
Okay.
Um, which is a guest on Joe Rogan a lot. I like the science ones.
Okay.
Fucking anything about space, philosophy, psychology. So I like just listening to shit and learning too.
You like
The
learning.
comedians are good on there too.
Okay.
So just a little bit of that.
Okay.
Um,
You hear what comedians do you really listen to?
I don't know whoever's on the show, bro.
Whoever's on
And then I might hear their shit, and
oh,
then I
but
might look
on
at
the
their special.
on
So
the
like
Joe Rogan
on
show.
yeah, so
Okay.
when he interviews them, I might like just see who it is, and if I enjoyed that episode, then I might see if like he has a special on Netflix or something
Yeah.
like that. I ain't good with all the names, but the faces for sure, and I'll
Okay.
watch them. So
Okay, I got you.
yeah,
You know what sucks about watching a podcast or no, let me take that back. What sucks about watching something you actually like is I feel like at a certain point they're gonna fuck it up with a scandal, bro. Like
yeah,
something that they did, right?
yeah.
Like you know, Adam 22 has that no jumper.
Mhm.
Well, he has a scandal right now where he's being accused of basically like molesting somebody when he was younger,
Oh goodness.
underage, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I'm diving a little bit deep into it, and you know, if it's true, the thing is like I can't support that. So I feel like there's always people that like if they're famous long enough, they're gonna find a way to ruin it.
Oh
Like look,
fuck yeah!
look,
Everyone has a past too, and I'm not saying whatever those people did is cool, but like you can find some shit to where a good dude has done some fucked up shit. You know
yeah,
what I'm
bro,
saying? Any of us, like,
it's crazy, bro. Like look at Bill Cosby, bro. Look how long it took for them to
mhm,
find out,
yeah,
you know, what he did. And I think that that's crazy, bro. Like,
yeah,
but that's like the sad thing about entertainment, man. Like even they got I'm really big into Marvel.
mhm,
So they got the Ant Man and Quantumanian and the guy that they're really pushing is Jonathan Majors. Now right now Jonathan Majors has a scandal where he's very hard to work with and I apparently he assaulted his girlfriend or wife.
oh shit,
So now he's like in under fires for something like that, right? So it's like, dude, like you're ruining the movie for me because
yeah,
now you're such a big part of that movie, and now they got to recast you. The same thing they're well, I don't know, cause they kept Amber Heard. I don't know if you heard about Amber Heard
I
on.
heard that new movie Tank though, like they were showing
Oh,
it.
did they?
Yeah, they were showing it like a preview of it,
Yeah.
and people were fucking walking out of the thing, and I think they're trying to reshoot a lot of the footage.
Is it because she's in it though,
I
or you
I
don't know?
think it's something to do with
Okay.
her for sure, or
Mm.
maybe the movie or something. I don't know, but I like Aquaman.
Aquaman one was good.
It's fucking tight.
Yeah, Aquaman was really good, and
Yeah,
I don't really fuck with the DC movies.
yeah.
And I thought that one was really good. I'm actually waiting for that Flash movie to come out.
Hmm.
Because it's supposed to have Michael Keaton as Batman. So
Yeah.
I'm like super ready for
Oh,
that.
that's sick.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like they're like going back in time, right? So
yeah,
I think that's always dope with like them bringing movies from the past, right? Brings it in full circle.
yeah, yeah.
So what do you feel about TikTok possibly being banned altogether? Because I know that's another platform that I'm not gonna lie, TikTok does get you some engagement. I don't know what it is about their algorithm. I don't know how they promote it, but a lot of people get a lot of followers. They
Hmm.
get a lot of interactions, get a lot of likes.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but China's doing something that we're not doing
yeah.
apparently, right? So what do you feel like how would that affect us?
I personally don't really give a fuck if they ban TikTok
No?
because I had started using it for a while and I had stopped using it. I find that when I scroll through it, it's too good. Like it's
Yes.
too fucking engaging to where you just get sucked into this fucking black hole of videos. And so for me, I kind of stayed away from TikTok. And
Yeah.
then also too with the terms conditions where they fucking steal all your shit on your phone and
Yeah.
have it like they could access through your phone your computer right now if they
Mhm.
wanted to, shit like that. And doesn't matter if they whatever they do with it, I don't know, all of our shit ain't private anymore either,
Yeah.
but that
Well,
shit is just like too much for me, and I'm just like,
that's the issue with TikTok
yeah,
that they want to basically steal your all your information and as far as like the U.S. government goes, they don't want it to be on no federal phone whatsoever because it does steal information. So that's why the USA is trying to ban it, you know.
mhm,
But what's crazy about it is, like you said, yeah, you go on TikTok and then you go through these 30 to 40 minute like fucking black holes where you're just scrolling through it, and it's
yeah,
like, bro, before you know it, an hours went by,
mhm,
and it's like, what the fuck did I do in my life? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and some of it you could learn from too. Like some of it's good, some of it's just fucking bullshit and it's mindless.
Yeah.
You know, but I also heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that like the Chinese version is different and it's
Yes.
less like ours is like dumbs you down a lot and it's kind of it seems like that's the agenda there is like they send us all the stupid shit and we
So
get drawn into it and like you
so,
know.
so we supposedly as Americans, we like the dumb shit.
Mhm.
We like people getting fucking hurt, funny shit, pranks. That's
Yeah.
what we like, right? Um, in China, they like the do it yourself, the DIY.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's the acronym for
But there's
it.
some good fucking do it yourself shit on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people who be like, "Where'd you get that recipe?" or "Where'd you learn how to build that?" or you know. So
Yeah.
I ain't hating on it all the way, but I do feel like we're just getting flooded with a lot of fucking mindless shit. And maybe some regulation instead of banning it. I mean, I'm not saying like they
That's what
need
I
to
would.
do
That's what
away
I
with
would do.
it, but
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd do some regulations on it. But I think I think that's what the problem is, bro. Like because they're able to access so much information from us, they know what we want.
oh, I get
This is
it,
this is
flooded with it now.
this is why,
Yeah.
right? So if you're like really into tattoos, you're gonna see some tattoos on there. If you're really into music, you're gonna see a lot of music news on it, and it's because they really deep dive and they get their nails in your information, and
Hmm.
that's what makes it work. But that's also the big problem. But if we take that off, then we're back to Instagram and we're back to Facebook, where they're trying to compete with TikTok, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know what it is, man. I feel like it's like you said, they should kind of change some regulations, but I feel like we as a single individual need to put our information on what we really like to see what's best for us, right?
Hmm.
Like there has to be like a good essay or amount of questions that like we could put.
That's a good point right
Yeah.
there. Like if you could learn like control your algorithm a little better to
Hmm.
where like I don't want to see this shit. I
Yeah.
want to see more of this. Cause like I remember we were talking through a tattoo once where you're like, man, I be scrolling through and all I get is like bitches
Oh
sometimes.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, bro, I don't want no one to see my phone. It looks like I'm fucking watching porn over here. And I'm like
Yeah.
really just going down trying to see what the homies are doing and shit. And I got some chick bouncing her titties around. And it's like I love titties, don't get me wrong, but like I wasn't going on there for that.
Yeah, that and
And it's
I
because we're men. They just like throw it down on do do do, and then I'm like, I'm gonna look for a second, like, oh shit, yeah, sexy, whatever. Boom, move it, like, you know. And
yeah.
it's just mindless, bro. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. I'll go on Pornhub if I want to go on
I know
Pornhub, bro.
exactly, right? And the thing is like too exactly like you said, right? I'm scrolling through my stuff, man, and it's like it makes it look like I'm a pervert, right? Like that's all I
That's what
want
I'm
to.
saying. It
That's all
makes
I
me
want to.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's just like no, that's not what I was looking at, right? Like is this isn't the device for it.
yeah.
There's a different device for that, right? But
Mhm.
it's if you're a guy, you're definitely gonna get it. If you're a girl, you don't get it because of
Yeah.
you know the sex gender, right? Like yeah, basically that's pretty much answer that question. But
Mhm.
I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking weird. And yeah, but you know what? If they do cancel TikTok, I do feel that a lot of people that are on TikTok will come to Instagram and Facebook, and will get a lot more engagement though. That's what I do feel like it's gonna happen though,
Yeah.
because TikTok or no, I'm sorry, Instagram already made it to where you could create a reel almost identical to TikTok. The only difference is TikTok has more editing software, right?
Yeah, they
So
do. Yeah.
you could do a lot more there, as opposed to Instagram where they're not quite there yet. YouTube, for some reason, you could create the reel, but you can't really do much besides um I think enhance the voice or maybe add a couple songs or something, but you can't
Mhm.
really edit too much, which is weird because
Yeah.
that's like the editing platform
Yeah,
of
it
the
is.
fucking, you know, like
Yeah.
it's weird, right? But I did notice too though that TikTok has this new thing and it's a new algorithm where they're trying to make you put videos longer than a minute, and the reason why is because you can't put a short on YouTube that's longer than a minute. So you
Mm.
see what they're trying to do?
Yeah.
They're trying to like fucking bump each other out. They're trying to get them. I mean, which I could understand, but it's just so crazy, bro. You know, like that's where like I just wish that I didn't have to keep competing with everything else. You know, just for likes and for views and
Yeah.
for exposure. And I just feel like I should be able to do my work, put whatever I want to put out, and that's that, right?
and it just reaches the appropriate audiences. One thing I hate about Instagram is how they fucking they want you to be like TikTok now. So it's like lost its originality, and it's like a shittier version of
Hmm.
TikTok. And
Uh,
it was like cooler before because you could post your stuff and you would get the exposure. Now it's completely run by ads
yeah,
and marketing, so you have to pay to even get the exposure in the
yeah.
first place. And second, they want all your shit to look like TikTok.
You know what I miss? I miss Vine.
Yeah, Vine was cool too.
Vine was cool. No,
Yeah,
no one had an issue with Vine. It
yeah,
just I don't know why it got shut down, but
hmm
it's never gonna come back. Maybe
yeah,
it will. Hopefully, if TikTok goes away, maybe it will.
yeah.
Maybe we'll someone to take it over. So let me ask you this, bro. Because you're in the music industry, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are watching this, and they might want to get into the music industry, right? They might want to start rapping. Like, what are the bare essentials that they need for them to really just start it? Like, as far as like equipment goes, or maybe the people that you would need to like contact.
That's a good question. So, I mean, you could always go to your local fucking studio and book some time with somebody.
Hmm.
But I would say if you're younger, you learn to do it yourself. Like a lot of people do, and that's how I learned to do it. You don't need a ton of equipment. You don't even need expensive ass shit. I think that's a misconception by a lot of artists that you need all this fucking nice ass equipment for the studio. But you could really start with a Mac or even a shittier computer than that. You just need a sound card and a microphone.
Okay.
So you download the software onto the computer. The sound card is what gets the what's put into the microphone into the computer,
Okay.
and then you need a DAW, which is a digital audio recording some shit, whatever. It's the program you use to make music. So I use Ableton.
Okay.
There's Fruity Loops, fucking
I was gonna say
yeah, all
Fruity
that
Loops.
shit, bro. You could start on GarageBand.
You could. I seen it.
Fruity
Yeah.
Loops,
I
GarageBand.
did see that. I did see that you could kind of fuck with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And you could even do it on the phone, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's like super minimalistic
Mhm.
equipment right there. Well, what about if I'm not comfortable in my rapping abilities, right? Maybe I don't know how to write bars that
Mhm.
good, right? Maybe my stuff sounds offbeat. How do you go around that?
I'd say just try to make as much music as you can.
Mhm.
Cause I mean, when I first started, like one of the things I noticed is I didn't like my voice that much.
Mhm.
Now I love my voice. Like I've just developed it, learned to use it. Now I could even sing a little bit,
Okay.
more than I could have before. I didn't like hearing my voice back, but I was like, I do really like the process of making music.
Okay.
And then the more I did it, the more I was able to get like my voice to sound how I want it to sound. So like say you're off beat, you kind of like you're off your beat, learn to count measures more, put the metronome on, practice before you hit the mic.
Mhm.
Make sure you have the verse down, Another thing like as when you first start is like stop reading off the paper. Like
Okay.
memorize that shit. Like it's
Memorize it.
easy to like get it, even today I'll still bring like lyrics up there, but I'm not even really reading off the lyrics anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean that's one thing. Or the metronome, just get timing down. Try to make it more simple. If
Okay.
if it's not sounding right, simplify it more because everyone wants to sound like cool or make it maybe complex or like be lyrical or but just try it more simple.
Yeah. You
You know,
basically,
work your way
yeah,
up.
basically try it out, work hard at it, just like everything else.
Yeah.
Just like everything else, you know what I mean? It requires practice.
Mhm.
Practice makes perfect.
And also too is like not to get too stuck on one thing.
Okay.
Whenever I like overly obsessive on a song, it usually ends up not being that good.
Mhm.
You know, you want to move on. Like for you too, maybe you did a tattoo. You're like, fuck, man, I could have done that better. It's like
Yeah.
instead of dwelling on that, you just go to your next one.
Yeah.
Go to your next one.
I
Try
think
harder. Learn from what you did before and move on.
yeah, I
Like,
think what I do is I'm super critical on myself, so
mhm.
I just learn from what I did wrong and
Yeah.
just apply it to the next tattoo.
Yep.
And that's all you can do.
That's being an artist.
That's all you can do. And I think there's this one saying that I like to go by is if you're naturally talented, that's great. But hard work is always going to beat talent.
Always.
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 Because you have the work, the dedication, you know what you put in it.
Mhm.
So it's always going to take you a long way. If you're naturally talented, you're going to take it for granted, which is, it's almost a curse,
Yeah.
Like, just because I could do something super good right off the gate, they already feel like they're at a certain level. So the people that are working way harder will eventually catch up to you and they will pass you up
Yeah.
because they have a higher goal than what a natural talent person has already, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. I see it a lot with artists. I see it a lot with people that get one hit wonders, and
Oh
then
yeah.
you see them later on in life. Fetty Wap. I don't know if you know the story of Fetty Wap.
Nah.
So Fetty Wap was a really good artist, and he made music, and he had like kind of a group, right? And his stuff wasn't getting recognized, and eventually it got caught on pretty good, and everything he recorded, everything he touched turned to gold, bro.
Mm.
Like everything he did, it was crazy, bro. Like he just has a flow that no one else has,
Yeah.
and he got a lot of money. So he talks about it all the time on how much money he spent. Because he was so good and everything came so naturally, he assumed that as long as he makes another song, he's gonna get it but
Yeah.
right back, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand that there's a shelf life to a lot of things. So eventually, you know, you're gonna be a run of the mill if you don't change things up and work hard at it.
Yeah.
You hear Drake say it all the time. I don't know when my shelf life is gonna be over because Drake always says, "I'm surprised I made it this far this long,"
Yeah.
and that's Drake saying it.
Mhm.
And I don't think he's gonna go anywhere anytime soon, right? You don't think? I don't know if you think
Nah,
that.
not at all, bro. I see what he means though. Like I'm surprised it's been popping this long because
Yeah.
it's been hella long. And like you said, it might not go away right now. But I think with artists like your sound or even your fucking abilities, like could just kind of dwindle away over time. Like
Yeah.
you hit a certain age, or maybe you're not working with the same crew anymore. Your
Mm-hmm.
life is different. Your perspective on life is different. Your art could just completely change and go in a different direction that maybe the audience isn't into.
Yeah, cause the thing is too is if I'm an artist and I do something and it works, why would I change it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna do the same thing I kept doing, right?
Mhm.
Eventually it's still gonna work, right? Because we're doing this every single day. You know, it's making money. Why would I change it?
Mhm.
And the thing is, we gotta appreciate the people that do know how to change it up and do know how to keep it new, and are up to date with the current events, right? Because if you were to name me a couple of artists now, we can name a very, very, very little amount of people, right? Like, who can you name me that you think is still relevant? That was relevant back then is relevant now still. Like,
Mhm.
if we can name kind of a couple of artists, we can't really name a lot too many,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. People's tastes change, dude.
Yeah, like I think even Snoop Dogg was relevant for the longest time.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was relevant. I think E40 was relevant too for
Mhm.
the longest time. Those are two that I could think of. I can't even think of anybody else.
Yeah.
Little Wayne,
Yeah.
maybe, but Kendrick Lamar maybe, but even Kendrick Lamar I think hasn't been as long as everybody else, right?
Mhm.
It's very hard. So you got to change it up.
Yeah.
You have to change it up.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. So okay, let me look at these other questions that we got.
Let me just comment that me and Brian were wearing the same exact outfit to this session right here.
Oh yeah, I got a Carhartt, and his is just so much blacker than mine. And I just looked at it and I was like, yeah, I can't wear that.
We got the
Like
gray pants
we got the
too.
gray pants too.
Yeah.
You know what? I have those Vans too.
Do you?
I should have wore
He's
those
the
Vans
classics.
also. Um, the hats are different.
That's true.
We got two competitor
Sa- Same city.
yeah, same city, two competitor clothing brands.
Yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
I know.
But yeah, that's why I have the little jacket on.
Yeah, I had to switch it up.
Had to switch it up a little bit, right? All right, so let me see here. I know we got another question. So, do you work with a lot of Stockton artists at all whatsoever?
There's a few that I have worked with. I found that I went through a run with working with people, and I'm still open to work with people. But lately, I've been more like I want to make my own music.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of collaborations with people. I even have a group project right now with my brothers that is pretty much completed. It just needs
Okay.
finishing mixing. I've worked with Harmon a lot. I've worked with Yuck Nasty. Made my first 3 albums. Even before I was mixing music and all that,
Mm-hmm.
engineering, he was doing it. And I do love working with people. But now for me, I love doing it all myself for the most part.
Okay.
And I think jumping in the mix and working with people again here and there, it does reinvigorate me because I did have this little. Sometimes I might be like not tripping off making music at all, you
Hmm.
know, and then someone might be like, "Hey, get a feature on this song," or and I'll do it, and it'll just reinvigorate me. So
Hmm.
it's both, but then it's more difficult to work with people sometimes. There's a lot of ego involved. So I do love collaborating with people, but
Yeah.
I don't know. For the most part, I really want to just make my music myself and maybe
Yeah.
just have a feature on it or like
Yeah. How do you deal with the people that have egos?
fuck, I probably have an ego too. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But it makes it more difficult, and I think that has made me want to make my own music more
Yeah.
lately.
But is it an ego or is it confidence? Because I feel like there's a difference, right?
There's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Because I'll be honest with you. I don't sense an ego from you whatsoever. I think you're very humble.
mm,
I think you just know what you bring to the table, and I feel like you know what you're capable of, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I appreciate hearing that. I do. But I do think maybe me wanting to work by myself is because I want to be in control a little
Okay,
more.
that makes
I
sense.
don't like giving up control too much now, especially now because like mixing and stuff. Like
Mm.
I've worked with other people, but nowadays, like bro, I like the way I make it sound when I
Okay.
mix the song. Like I don't
Yeah.
really want to shoot my vocals off to anybody else these days and have them do whatever. I mean, there's people that mix way fucking better than me,
Okay.
for sure. But I like how I make my voice
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
and
That's
have
that's your
control over
sound.
the song. So
Yeah, and I you gotta admire that too, bro, because I'm pretty positive you could go do a verse, send it off to somebody, they can make it sound like how everything sounds nowadays,
yeah,
and it'll get good traction, but it's not you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So if it's not you,
hmm
you're not proud of it, honestly.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
And it
yeah,
you gotta appreciate the people that are like that, because that's what we call sellouts in this
hmm
industry.
yeah,
Those are sellouts. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're not true to themselves. You can't fucking look in the mirror and feel like that's me at the end of the day, right?
yeah.
So I definitely want to wake up every single day knowing that I'm true to myself at
hmm
the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like I love doing it how I do it, and I ain't saying it's the right way,
Yeah, but
you
it's
know,
your way.
but it's my way,
Yeah.
and it's the way that I'm happy with.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way, bro. Like I was supposed to do a podcast with well, I did a podcast with my friend John. And for the most part, because I'm the one that kind of did everything as far as like getting the guest on or scheduling things or video editing, I was able to do it my way, right?
Mhm.
Um, which is great. Then I was supposed to do a podcast with somebody else, and they had very little interest in it. They had their own thing going on,
Yeah.
and it was something that just wasn't really brought up anymore. And at a certain point, I was like, all right, it's not gonna happen. So I think about it, and I I think like, okay, if I did do that, how much creative control would they have had? Because they were somebody that were stern about what they wanted to do, just as I am.
Mhm.
And I've noticed in a lot of different situations when it comes to things like that, you can't have two alphas. It's very hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's hard to do it. You know what I mean? Like you know, you have your vision, and my vision is my vision. Like for instance, I just put something out today that I'm not just gonna have tattoo artists on here. I'm gonna have everybody.
I seen
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna just talk about tattoos all day. That shit gets fucking boring.
Mhm.
You know, like
That's a smart move too, cause I mean, you're not just into tattoos either.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's not like obviously that's your bread and butter right
mhm.
there, but there's more to you.
And that's the thing too. Like you know, like if I talk to a tattoo artist, bro, I could talk to tattoos about you all fucking day.
Mhm.
We could go circles and circles and circles and have all these different topics, right? But that's a tattoo artist, right? If someone else comes along, you know, I'm into so many things, bro. So many different aspects of life. You know, I like video games. I like movies. I like what else can I say? I like certain subjects that you would never fucking think that I like. And it just depends on the person, right? So at the end of the day, like some people might have a problem with it because the only thing they see me as is a tattoo artist, so they think because I'm a tattoo artist, you should just only talk about tattoos, and that should be your
Yeesh.
niche.
Yeah.
And I think that was going to be the problem with the last person that I wanted to do a podcast with, was it was just going to be that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I talk to people. I get analytics. I make sure I ask them, like, what do you like? What don't you like? And as a tattoo artist, I feel like a tattoo artist would be excited to hear about tattoo content, right?
Yeah.
But kind of find out, don't really care for it. Like if you ask them about a podcast that's probably better than mine, they don't really watch it. So why are they gonna watch mine?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of that's where my reasoning came from. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would love if I would have done that, bro. Like, how can I get you on the show too? You know what I mean? I know
Mhm.
you have a lot of dope shit to say, and I just felt like I have to change it up, and it has to be a little different, right?
It's a smart move
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, what did you think about that? Cause you're not in my industry, but you're definitely a supporter of me, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I was asking you, like, how you feel about that whole thing.
I think it's a smart decision. I think if you want to keep your show interesting, you'd want to go around things that you care about besides just
Yeah.
tattoos. I mean, you could just have an artist in here or someone that's just fucking in a rock band or like someone that paints beautiful pictures or
Hmm.
a poet or a fucking actor or you know what I'm saying, just anything. It kind of it's culture. It all revolves around itself too. So I think it's a smart move on your end to keep that going. And it also helped broaden your audience too.
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah.
of just like maybe some people just ain't that into tattoos, but they might be into a different subject or a different form of art that you're discussing on this
Mm.
podcast. So
Yeah, I think the end goal of even if we do talk about tattoos, like, let's say the only thing I'm talking about honestly is I think we talked about apprenticeships. I think, bro, I think I talk about apprenticeships maybe on podcasts already, right?
mhm,
And it's like I'm talking about the same thing, but it's a different opinion from a different person. But at the end of it, it's always what's the end goal of that conversation, or what's the topic that we're talking about, and it's hard work.
mhm.
That's what we're talking about. We're
Oh
talking about
yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about hard work. I could apply hard work to a lot of different things. It doesn't just have to be about tattooing, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's what me and you are even talking about right now. Like, we're talking about how much it takes for you to even make music, your daily your life included in it, and at the end of the day, the conclusion is it's hard work
It's
and
fucking hard work.
and consistency.
Fundamentally, it's just comes down to hard work.
Yeah, so I just feel like there's so many analogies that we could apply together, right?
Mhm.
And just pretty much bring it into one, right?
Yeah.
So, I know you said that there's different people that you will work with, or people that different that you won't work with. Would you ever thought about doing a cipher, bro?
I've thought about doing it or just like fucking people pull up to the studio and they have verses they could pre-write to or freestyle on the spot and just fucking run a camera and just
Mm-hmm.
run the beat and hit the mic. I mean, I'd love to do that.
I think
I've
it'll be
never
dope.
organized anything like that, but
I
I mean
think you.
that'd be sick.
So I was having a talk with my wife about it, and I have talks about different guests that I'm gonna have, right? And I talk very highly of you.
Thank you.
But I think that you're a person that can organize that, and
I am a people
yeah,
person. I'm pretty
yeah.
good with
Oh, you're
people.
definitely a people person,
Yeah,
bro. You and Harmon, you guys are both people persons. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you guys could definitely like get something together and organize that, and I
Mhm.
think I think you'll really set you apart from everybody else,
Yeah.
because who's really doing it? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Out here in Stockton.
I've been on a couple like cipher like songs to where there was like probably 5 or 6 artists.
Okay.
Those are fun as fuck too.
Yeah.
Cause I always liked I mean I'm not hating on collaborations because I'm not like super seeking to work with other people. But when I first started making music, I wanted to be in like a group. Like I didn't want to be the solo artist at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I started. So like I really do have a deep appreciation for collaboration because all the different styles that come into play.
Hmm.
Like it keeps it interesting. Something like Wu-Tang Clan or something like you might not like one of the rappers as much as another one, but as soon as that one comes on or you hear another one, like there's just something to it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not for everybody. Like that solo artist ain't for everybody, but as a group, or if he's just on the hook, or if he has like fucking 8 bars on this part, like
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Did
So
you see that Wu Tang Hulu series?
yeah,
you notice how hard it was for everybody to get along with each other.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm assuming, bro, it's like that every little band, or not band but group,
Yeah.
right? Because you hear about all these groups and how they're just constantly just breaking up, and it's creative differences. It's like
Always.
we said, creative differences, bro. Like,
Always.
it's very hard to work with people. I could super relate to that when you said it. I was like, I feel like you're describing me. You know what I mean? To like a T right there.
Like me and my brother, when we make music, bro, we be fighting and shit over it.
Hmm.
Fucking amazing music once it's all said and done. It's just
Yeah.
harder to do. You
Yeah.
know, it's harder to do once it's done. It's probably better than what we would have done by ourselves.
Hmm.
But I mean, so I can only imagine that in a big ass group.
Yeah. Does your brother only make music with you, or does he
Yeah.
make?
So Lex, and then Toby too, who goes under Bias.
Okay.
Us three have like a whole fucking album done.
Okay.
And we've all made music amongst each other, back and forth for a while. But this whole project has all three of us on all the tracks. Um, it's just harder to bring together. Like
Yeah.
who's gonna be on this part? Who's gonna be like under this 2 minute line? What is this song gonna be about?
Yeah.
Someone might be like, well, I want to be on that part right there.
Hmm.
Someone's like, well, I got the verse over here, and then it conflicts with what you thought you were gonna do. It's just you gotta. It's a organizational thing too,
Okay.
vision, but then creative differences come in. But we have some really good fucking songs. We just need to kind of finish it, get some cover work, and then boom, we have a group project
Nice. Nice.
for us. So
So is that the next project that we're looking forward to?
yeah, that'll probably be what comes out before my next solo one, because I had one come out like 3 months ago, 4 months ago now.
Okay.
I don't really plan on having anything else out as far as a solo artist until the end of the year.
Okay.
So I hope that one drops, but I do have some good singles that
Oh,
I could drop.
okay.
So
So what is the big stuff that we're looking forward to besides so I know you said you're putting out a solo towards the end of the year, right? So longevity, what are we expecting from you?
from me would be longevity. Like expect an album from me every year. Like
Okay.
I want that. I mean, I did it almost every year except for the year I did the weeklies,
Mhm.
and I kind of proved through the weeklies I could just rap my ass off, which
I
was
I enjoy
awesome.
those, by the way.
Yeah,
I wish we would do more,
I know.
but it's a lot of work. So
It is, and
it's.
I feel like they're kind of like wasted verses sometimes
Hmm.
because it's just like a verse for a beat. It's not usually a full song,
Yeah.
and it's fun and it's cool for like Instagram. But I've kind of come back to just making a full song like
Mhm.
that you could play front to back with a message than
Okay.
just bars. You
Okay.
know, the bars are fun, but they don't really go anywhere. Like none of that shit's on like Spotify. It's not on an album. It's
Okay.
just like a quick one you could look through.
I think what it does is it adds onto your catalog.
Yeah,
So I think I think your best thing could be on Spotify.
yeah.
Like that's the best of the best.
Mhm.
And I think in order for people, because again we live in the world of platforms, right? I think in order for people to really engage with you, that's what they like to see.
Yeah,
Me personally, like everybody's different. I've noticed that a lot of people are liking these podcast reels. They like when I chop it up
yeah.
40
Quick
seconds,
ones to the point.
and they get really into it. Um, but I think, like I said, I would like that from you, but it's a lot of hard work, and it's also a lot. It's very hard to ask of that of anybody else. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because I know what it is when some people ask me, they're like, you should do that, but it's like you don't know what goes into that.
I'd love to do all of that. I'd love
Yeah.
to continue doing the weeklies, but if I do the weeklies, then it's hindering me making a new album for the
And
year.
yes, and that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Behind closed doors, people don't understand what we have going in our lives.
yeah, that
You know what I
too.
mean? Because even for me, in order for me to make these podcasts, people already know, and I got to make a lot of sacrifices. I'm gonna miss a couple birthdays.
Mhm.
I'm gonna miss a couple parties. I'm gonna miss a couple births. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
sounds kidding,
yeah.
but it's gonna happen, right? You
Mhm.
got to sacrifice. But I just feel like if you're content with whatever you're doing, do that.
Yeah.
Live your life, be happy, because we
Mhm.
only have one life at the end of the day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely.
Okay,
Just making the
so
art too. Making the art's the best part.
all right, yeah. But just know, I'm always gonna be a supporter of it. So
Thank you.
you always have my support, and
Yeah.
I hope that this podcast brings a lot more support towards you too. I hope something comes out of it. But if it doesn't, at the end of the day, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, and I feel like that's why we do the things that we do, right? Because we enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
Because if we don't enjoy it, then it's gonna be a shit show. Honestly, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
the experience, and thank you for your kind words on me too. I'm a big fucking fan. Obviously, like all my tattoos are from you. Basically, almost all of them, all at least my good work. So I'm a big supporter. I've been a supporter of you too.
Yeah.
So
Oh
for
yeah,
you to
yeah.
share that,
Yeah. Talk about how we met. Yeah.
yeah. So we met at your shop in Stockton. Harmon was getting his lip tattooed,
Yeah. The
and
Our Body and Soul.
yeah, and then I just followed you for like a year, just creeped on your ass, just creeped in there, you know what I'm saying? But eventually I was like, I wanted to get I only had like garage tattoos before that, or
Mm.
just little ones that were like cool, whatever, but I never like went to a shop before.
Yeah.
I was probably like 3, 4 tattoos in before I even ever went to a shop. And then I just fucking, I kept asking him, what's that fool's name again? What's the fool's name again? Because I was like, gonna book, and I never did. And then I just, we started with an MF Doom piece,
Yeah. I
and
remember
then
that.
just the conversation and how comfortable I was with it, and just realizing we knew a bunch of the same people, we're into similar art and perspective on life. It just made me fuck with you, and ever
Yeah.
since then I've been getting like all my tattoos for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cause like. Yeah, just a little conversation with you, are like, oh, this dude's a genuine dude. This dude's
yeah,
like
yeah.
an upright dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I fuck with this guy. Because I remember Harmon. So it's funny. Harmon's sister is the first person to contact me,
Yeah, yeah.
and she contacted me, um, because she was down for Christmas, and they wanted to get matching tattoos. So she had scheduled it, came in, and she wanted to get the Majin Buu, the M Majin Buu
Mhm.
tattoos, right? So she had scheduled it. She came in and started Harmon, and that's how I met Harmon.
Yeah.
And then I think later on, I didn't know she lived out of town. I just knew that they scheduled it together.
Mhm.
Um, Later on, the Harmon came, and that's when he came with you, and he wanted to get that Stockton tattoo.
Yeah.
And then I think the first thing you guys told me, we were like, "Hey man, we're gonna do a video. Is it cool if I do this? Go outside and come back in?" I was like, "Yeah, it's all good, bro. You
Yeah.
know, whatever." I did the tattoo, and that just stayed, right? The Stockton
Yeah,
tattoo
it's
on.
still there. I think a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
crazy. Yeah, because a lot of lip tattoos don't stay. So that was that, and then yeah, when you hit me up, you look familiar to me. I was like, I feel like I know this guy.
Mhm.
But yeah, we definitely hit it off, man. When you come in and got tattooed, and I do appreciate you supporting my business because that also helps me. And I
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
know you're a big supporter of other things. You know what I mean? When I got something going on, you'll repost it, or
Mhm.
whatever events I got. So I really appreciate that, man. I
Yeah.
tell my wife all the time, like, yeah, like the dude's a real supporter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? As I am of
Yeah,
you.
it's mutual. It's
Yeah,
very naturally mutual. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, it's not for like some sort of benefit from each other. We just fuck
yeah.
with each other. We like each other, so we just fucking work together on some shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I met you, it was that Zelda thing stuck out to me.
Oh,
The,
this, yeah, yeah,
the link thing, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, he fucks with it, and I was like, man, I've always wanted a Zelda tattoo too.
yeah.
That was the first thing I kind of like. I was like,
Yeah, and
okay.
I'm a big, see, and this is what I mean. This is the thing that I say that people don't really know about me unless you know me, right? Like I'm into Link, I'm into Zelda, the
Mhm.
Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But as you can see, Majora's Mask is right here. As you can see, I'm also into Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm also into just a different shit. Like this is just part of it, whatever you can see, right? But there's a different side to me that a lot of people don't know, and this is why like I decided to talk about whatever I want, not just stick to tattooing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure you're into a lot of other things that people don't know about.
Mhm.
What are you into about?
Gay pornos, like
I knew it.
vitamin water.
Vitamin water. You don't drink Prime?
I do drink Prime actually.
Prime's pretty good
I've
actually.
tried it. My girl's kid is fucking obsessed with Prime, so
Prime
like
is good. I'm not
he's
gonna
all
lie.
into the hype. I've had it. It's super sweet though.
It's they add something in it that's not the best for you. But
Oh really?
that goes with anything
I
though.
figured.
Yeah, that goes with anything. But it's the coconut water too. So
Yeah.
it's not just water, it's coconut water, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, they're cool.
So let me ask you this, bro. Final question. There's a myth going
Hmm.
around, and I think you've met it a couple times. What is the myth of the ghost poop?
Well, the ghost poop is real. First off, and it would be described as the most satisfying bowel movement a man can have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when you gotta take a shit really bad, and you go hit the toilet and you take a shit, and then you go ahead and wipe away,
Mm-hmm.
and you look over and there's nothing on the toilet paper.
Like a ghost,
Yeah, it's like the poo never happened.
bro. You know what's funny is you had said that,
Yeah,
and you made the term up. And the thing is, that term has already been made.
yeah, it's a real
So,
thing.
so you came up to me. You're like, I forgot how the conversation went. You're like, yeah, I did a ghost poop.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to wipe. And I was like, a ghost poop? What the fuck's a ghost poop? You explained it to me, and I was like, okay, well, that is that really the term of it?
It's real
And
shit,
you're like,
bro.
yeah. So I looked it up. Gonna find out, yeah, bro, it's a fucking real term. But you made it up, which is the funny part about it.
I don't know if I heard it before or something, but every time I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I wish it did. But I'll bring it up. And then the people be like, "What's a ghost poop?" And I'll fucking break it down. Like, bro, it's like you took a shit that never happened, bro, because there's no mess. There's like no evidence that you took that shit. I mean,
That's
it could even fucking you can get lucky and it could just boom straight down the toilet. But I mean, as far as cleanliness, everyone wants to have a ghost dump.
but that's the best form of fiber, bro.
Yeah, I know. Watch
All
your
right,
diet.
watch your diet, man. But yeah, working out, eating right,
Yeah,
you'll get a ghost poop if you're lucky.
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, it's like a four-leaf clover.
Take a
It's
picture and send it to your friends if you get one. So,
but
just
no,
to
but
prove it.
they won't. You won't even know. You got to take a picture of your asshole just to make sure there's nothing on there.
Well, I guess you would have clean toilet paper and then a shit in the toilet.
But see, you can fake the toilet paper.
Yeah.
You can't fake the ass. Well, technically, I guess you can wipe and then take the photo. You
Yeah.
know what you got to do? You got to have an audience when you do it.
Or you just film it with your iPhone while you're taking a
Exactly,
shit.
that's what
and
it
then
is.
You just make sure that when you wipe, there's nothing there, and then you can prove it. Like, no, this really happened to me.
That's like, okay. See, that's what it is. That now we figured out how to catch Big Bear.
Yeah. Or
Or
you
what
could
is
put
it?
like a
Or
ring
Bigfoot.
camera under the toilet bowl or something. I don't know, and then you just see it come down, so there's proof that you did poo, and then you go to wipe, and there's nothing.
How do you feel about those toilets that automatically clean your ass? The
The bidet
the
ones.
the bidet ones. How do you feel
I
about
don't like
those?
them, bro. I moved into my house when I bought it, and it had a bidet,
Did
and I
it?
didn't like that shit.
What does it even look like?
It's bro. You could buy like a unit that you just like attach the hose to where the water comes in,
Hmm.
and then you could turn it on, and it like has a little hole. Like here's the bowl, and then there's a little hole right
Really?
here, and it just shoots water in your ass.
Did it feel like someone was licking your ass?
I didn't like it. No, I mean
No.
I don't know. I've never had my ass ate. Unfortunately, I've been waiting a long time for
why,
it.
why is it
No, I'm just
unfortunate?
kidding. No, I fucking found the water pressure too much on my asshole. So
Okay.
maybe I have a sensitive, but I don't know. I didn't like it. It made me like like
I,
fuck
li-
this shit.
I like how your voice lowers when you say it. I didn't like how it was touching my asshole.
Asshole. Nah, fuck that. I ended up taking it off. People would be like, "Oh, you got a bidet? That's cool," but I didn't like it. I tried it like twice.
I'll probably fight the toilet, bro, if it did that to me.
I don't know,
It just
bro.
feel weird, right?
It made me. I don't. It hurt. I don't know. Maybe I have a tender butthole.
Maybe, bro. Who knows? Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a final question. I definitely have to have you back here, bro. Like,
Hell yeah, I'm down,
we
bro.
gotta talk some more shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, some more serious topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the funny stuff too.
I like the funny stuff. I like the serious topics. I like it all, man. I think we can get into it. I do definitely want to do a funny one. I feel like every time I do like a podcast, it's always so serious.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, I have to do it that way because, like with you, I know I could do funny shit because we talk
Yeah.
shit all the time, right?
Yeah.
So we shoot the shit. That's funny, right? But with someone I just barely met, it's like, oh man, I gotta keep it on a serious note.
Oh, you
'cause
don't want to make them feel uncomfortable.
yeah, because I don't even know how you are. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like anybody could be serious, right? And if you're funny, you're just natural or funny. You're gonna make a joke out of anything, right? So it's just gonna go that way. But with you, I feel like I could definitely make some funny content. You know what I mean? But with other people, it's like I gotta kind of feel it out. Cause some people get nervous too, bro. Like
Yeah, that's the thing.
the first like minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they're nervous. You know what I mean? They're kind of
Yeah.
getting
Or
kind of
just
getting
catching
used.
up to your own words or some shit, or you might
Yeah.
stutter a little bit, or you just.
And then you always feel like you have to be proper. Like you have to properly say everything. I think I fuck up on a lot of things every time that I talk on this platform. Like I say something and then it's not the right analogy or the right way that I want to say it. So I'm like, fuck. I go back at it. I'm like, there's got to be some sort of like school I could go to that can fix my speech impediment or something. You know what I mean? Like I got to be better at talking. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of the word. I say a lot. I noticed that it's
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
That comes with practice, though. I mean, it's like when I started rapping, I didn't like the sound of my voice,
Mhm.
and then I learned how to say things different, or speak clearly, or speak less clearly, make it sound kind of like,
Kind of raspy.
yeah, or project your voice more, or be quieter, or sound more confident,
Mhm.
sound like you believe in yourself. It's just a process. So.
Yeah, no, but we definitely gotta get you back on,
I'm
man.
fucking down.
Where can people find you?
I'll be out on Sandman Park rapping 9 o'clock. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me on IG under Dialect 8.
Okay.
I'm on YouTube under Dialect 8. On Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, all that good shit. It's just Dialect.
Okay, and then I'll put all your information.
Yeah.
I'll put your IG down. Do you have a link tree on your
Yeah, I have a link tree for all of it.
Okay, so I'll put your IG down and then they could click your link tree and then I love link tree. Link
Yeah,
tree
that's cool.
just makes it easy.
That's cool.
What else? What else was I gonna say? And as far as this podcast, guys, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and if you want the visuals, YouTube, of course. And that'll be that, guys. Please also give me a follow on the Inkplay Talk IG. I generally want to get a good audience on that too because a lot of the news comes from there. So if you guys go on there, give me a follow. If you guys have some comments, leave it on the down below. If you want to be a guest, let me know. All that could be possible. All right, guys, but I'll see you in the next one.